Well, this has taken longer than I expected. This is Mike from Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, and this is your new Home Deluxe. And it's been too long. I need to get her packed up, get her shipped out to you. But, well, we're in the middle of winding things down to move to our winter location in the Sonora Desert. For the next 5 months. So there's a whole lot going on, and I got your machine out and checked her out and re-oiled her, and then I started to make this video, and I just was not satisfied with the tension adjustment, so I took it back up to the workbench and took the tension apart, and it's working great now. And anyway, I'm making excuses because it's been way too long and I need to get this beautiful machine shipped. I'm going to send her along without the belt that we made you and without the attachment set, which I need to go pick up in town. And I'll send those along separately later. But this is the final test before we back her up, and in this test we're going to go over how to work the various controls, and we'll start by gosh, I usually start with winding a bobbin, but the bobbin's already full, and I think we're just going to sew, and I'll show you at the end how to wind the bobbin. But let me say, I am re-impressed with what an awesome machine this is. It's so smooth and fast and strong. Anyway, the settings, we'll start with the stitch length. You have a little window here that's got a scale in it, and you can set your stitch length from 0 to 4, and 0, of course, your fabric doesn't move at all and the thread balls up underneath and makes a mess, so you want to start a little above 0, and up to 4, which is your longest stitch. This red button here is your reverse. This is your stitch width, and you have a scale of 0 to 5, and to set the stitch width, you choose your stitch width, say 3, and then you move this little finger that's behind it. It's a keeper. Move it up so it's in contact with the lever at exactly the stitch length you want. Then tighten down this little screw, and your stitch length will stay at that stitch length. To release it, just loosen that screw. Pressure foot. The pressure on your fabric is adjusted here. There's a little collar here that you press it down, and it releases all of the pressure, so you can do free motion sewing, whether it's darning or mending or applique or just freehand art. And then you push the center pin down, and the red line is the median average for regular fabric. You may need a little more, a little less, depending on what you're sewing. This is where the stitch pattern cams go. I looked through all of my backstock, all of my stitch pattern cam sets, and I couldn't find one in my stock that matched this one, but you can probably find that on eBay. Your tension, I set it up so your average tension is going to be around 3. A little more if you're thread looks loose and loopy on the bottom, a little less if it's too tight and it's puckering up. This is your feed drop here for darning and free motion sewing. Press down the down button for regular sewing. Push the sew button and your feed dogs come up and they'll move the fabric. This is your bobbin winder over here. We'll get to that in a bit. And that's about it. We'll sew and then I'll show you how to wind the bobbin and how to thread the machine. So let's see, stitch length, let's go about 2 for medium stitch length for regular fabric. But see, she's just so smooth. I'm just blown away. Such a nice machine. A little more for a longer stitch. Let's go all the way up to 4. Yeah. Let's take a look at that. That's the longer stitch, that's the shorter stitch. No way you're going to see that on the back. We're planning to have a blue thread on the bottom. So reverse is this button here. Zigzag is here. We'll move the lever over, put the keeper against it, tighten down the knob, and we are now in zigzag mode. Your bobbin is in the bobbin case down here. There's a little lever on this one. It's black, easy to see. Pull that lever out and you can pull your bobbin case out. Make sure your needle is not all the way down or you won't be able to pull out your bobbin case. Excuse my puffy insulation. This I have a plastic traveling table that I've been using for packing, and it just kind of, it's like a drum. It's like a resonator. It amplifies the sound of everything. So I put that under it to kind of damp it a little bit. So the bobbin, of course, is inside the bobbin case, and I'll pull off this old thread. Maybe we'll put something on it instead of blue. What do we have? White, yellow. Let's do yellow. We've got a nice goldenrod yellow on the top. This is more of a middle of a daisy yellow here. So wind a bobbin. Put your spool of thread on this spool pin down here. Go into your bobbin winder tensioner and up to the bobbin winder. And I find it's easier to get the thread started before you put the bobbin on. So put the thread through one of the holes from the inside to the out, and then put several wraps on the bobbin to hold the thread in place while you're winding it. And then push it onto the bobbin winder with the thread going over the top this way. Push the red button here to set the bobbin winder in place. Declutch your machine by turning the chrome knob in the center of the hand wheel towards you, 1/8 to 1/4 of a turn until it hits the stop. Then your machine, your hand wheel will spin without making the rest of the machine cycle. So there we go. Well, we used up all of that thread. Lift this finger here to release the bobbin. Reclutch your machine by tightening the chrome knob in the center of the hand wheel. Find the end of your thread, wherever it went. There it is. Okay, with the thread coming off of the top of the bobbin in this direction, put your bobbin into the bobbin case and bring the thread around to, there's a slot in the side of the bobbin case right here. Go into the slot and under the flat leaf spring, and then you'll feel that there's just a little bit of drag on the thread when you pull on it. Holding the little lever out will keep the bobbin from dropping out while you're moving it. And with the with this little finger on the top of the bobbin case pointing up, like a hitchhiker thumb, kind of reminds me of my youth. Let's see this thread in there. Push it onto the spindle in the center and make sure it goes all the way on so it's snug and tight in there. Then we're going to thread the machine. Put your spool on the spool pin on top. Go into the thread guide on the back, the thread guide on the front. Down between the discs of the tension assembly, all the way around, and you'll pick up your check spring on the way. Go all the way around until you can pull your thread into the notch at the top of the tension assembly. Then when you pull up on your thread, you'll see the check spring move, so you know you've got that. Go behind the big thread guide here, through the take-up lever right here, from right to left. Make sure you didn't get caught on anything else. There are two thread guides here on the side of the faceplate, and one thread guide down here at the needle. Got a nice fresh end here. And then you're going to go through the eye of the needle from the outside toward the inside, from the left to the right. Easier said than done. That's not really a clean end there. The cleaner and sharper your end, the easier it is to go through the eye of the needle. There we go. Now, holding the thread loosely, turn your hand wheel towards you one full revolution. The needle will take the thread down where the hook will pick it up, wrap it around the bobbin, and bring up your lower thread. See? Lower thread. Put your thread between the toes of the presser foot and towards the back, and we're ready to sew. This is denim. Lower your presser foot with the lever on the back, and off we go. We're still in zigzag mode. And shorten the stitch length quite a bit. Boy, what a machine. Made in Japan in the middle of the last century, and the quality is evident. I'm going to release the stitch width lever so that when it comes to you it'll be in straight stitch mode. And I'll leave it on about 2. And just for fun, I'm going to tie off the thread there, and you can check that out before you start using it and get a feel for the thread path. So if you have come here from somewhere else, found a link, come to this video, we are Stagecoach Road Vintage Sewing Machine, and we're out here in the Coast Range of Oregon on Stagecoach Road. So we are Stagecoach Road Sewing.com. And if you come out to the website, you can see hundreds and hundreds of beautiful machines that we've restored over the last 25 years or so. And you'll see views from all different angles. Just gorgeous machines from just after the Civil War to up into the early 1970s. And at the top of the page, you'll find a few machines that are for sale. Restored machines in great condition, beautiful, ready to come home to your sewing room. So remember that, it is StagecoachRoadSewing.com, and we'll see you there.